Hello everyone, I'm gonna be honest, I don't know how to make an educational video, so here is footage of me playing Call of Duty while I talk about the Columbian exchange and what exactly was exchanged between the old world and the new world. First, for some context, the Columbian exchange only happened because a dude named Christopher Columbus, this guy on the screen right now, decided he wanted to accidentally discover a whole new continent. Okay, anyways. The Columbian exchange was the trade and exposure to many different things. There were three primary things that were exchanged, and that was food, disease, and animals. Okay, for food, the Americas were rich with food, and it all got sent back to Spain. And Spain was the primary dispersion route of New World foods in the Old World. A lot of the foods that came from the New World were maize, potatoes, sweet potatoes, tomatoes, peanuts, pumpkins, squashes, pineapples, and chili peppers. Another item discovered in the New World was tobacco. Some of the other plants that were listed earlier also had to go under a sort of genetic change to be able to be grown in different places. Tomatoes and chili peppers adapted quite well to the new growing environments. When potatoes were brought over to the Old World, they grew better in colder and higher altitude places, so potatoes were primarily grown in the northern parts of Europe. Europeans were quite suspicious about tomatoes, potatoes, and chili peppers. It took Europeans a while before they accepted those foods into their diets, but I'm grateful they did, because then Italians would have invented pasta, and basically that means no Olive Garden for any of us. Alright, so now for diseases. Most diseases in the Columbian exchange were kind of one-sided. The Spaniards brought about smallpox, measles, influenza, mumps, typhus, and whooping cough. But the main killer was smallpox. That disease kind of just wiped out a lot of the indigenous people. The Caribbean was hit the hardest when it came to diseases. A lot of the indigenous people in the Caribbean died off because of these new diseases they faced. When animals were brought to the New World, it opened up new doors for indigenous people to farm. Many of the animals that were brought over were horses, pigs, cattle, goats, and sheep. These animals survived really well in the Americas. These animals helped bring in new hides, wools, and animal proteins. These animals were a game changer for the indigenous people because they haven't had anything like that since the mastodon and megafauna at the end of the Ice Age. So these animals that were brought over helped them with farming, as well as horses being used to plow fields made it a lot more easier on the farmers in the New World. With horses being introduced to the indigenous people, it allowed for easier transportation instead of walking vast distances to trade with the other indigenous people. Well, that is the basics of the Columbian exchange. I hope you guys enjoyed the video I put together. All the sources are going to be down in the description because I tried putting it on a picture on here, but it wasn't loading all that great, so I just put them in the description. And I thank you guys for your time.